Mitski, legal name Mitski Laycock. Born in Japan and moving around her whole life, she chimed into fame after releasing her first 2 albums, Lush and Retired from Sad, New Career in Business, later to become classics. She began using school equipment and now has record dealings and movie features. Mitski describes herself as a black hole where people dump their feelings. Perfect segue into what I must discuss, that she is the writer to which we can learn what it means to have a soul. I am listening to Mitski as I write this, the tangents of guitar and piano clarifying, this melancholy and anger. Mitski is a tale of what it means to have a soul. I'm listening to the song I Don't Like My Mind, and that is as human as it gets. In Inconvenient Christmas, I eat a cake, a whole cake for me, and I blast music loud. Yet Mitski's music isn't human, it's spiritual. Of course it is, otherwise it wouldn't connect to those who need it. Music has to be spiritual if it is to connect. Let's discuss her first album, Lush. I refuse to believe this album was a school project. It's one of my favourites, and I love how the article written by Thermotide describes that songs are the fact that songs are poems sung, and that Lush is raw in nature. All the songs in this album awaken anger in me, even when they're just sad. I do believe, however, sadness is anger begun or settled. I will say Lush dares to state what it means to be a woman, or having a body or duty. This album explores the complex insanity, by her own words, to love and to lose, to feel. Again, to have a, and I must say, complex soul, to be human and unfulfilled because you are too much and too hollow, nothing and everything. Though this doesn't make anything necessarily easier, I do believe Lush can be organised into 2 categories. And this is organised by basic, and I mean basic meaning of song, though technically they are the same. These categories are womanhood. The songs that go into this are Real Men, Liquid Smooth, Wife, Brand New City, Eric, and Bag of Bones. The second category is liminal. The songs that go into this are Pearl Diver, Abby, and Door. I love all the songs on Lush, but I'm going to focus on 2 main songs, Liquid Smooth and Pearl Diver. Pearl Diver is liminal. It's an in-between song. It's perfectly talking about swimming deeper and deeper, but in the end there is nothing. There has never been anything. You were forever in the in-between. Now, I'm no music comprehender in terms of notes, but I can do sound and lyrics. I do believe this is a song written from the core and never meant to be understood by singer or listener, since the only note of meaning, according to Genius, is searching for something till your death. Pearl Diver is truly a varied song. It sounds to me like a warning you give. But it's not a warning to anybody else. It's a warning to yourself upon seeing the reflection of what you've become. To link back to this idea that Mitski shows you what soul is, I think this song is about searching in terms of perhaps freedom from a tie, since at 133 the lyrics state,
singing softly, but until you were human, don't forget it and go safely.
Hunted to me sounds like a chase, constant until your death, even claiming the beautiful so badly to adhere to this idea of hunting for sport, a cruel tandem, an endless search with no fulfillment but cruelty. That cruelty, perhaps the cruelty that's easier to dive deeper into than actually try and break the surface and find freedom. Liquid Smooth, the addiction and insanity of beauty. Have you ever felt as if you were chasing the meaning to be beautiful, forcing yourself into that construct? Mitski has, and in this horror exhumes the almost delight to express the common pain of needing to be beautiful. I've barely experienced this feeling, but do urge as I get older to look pretty, more for my own sake. Here Mitski touches on the horror and insanity for it, by using music to spread the crazed plague of panic to be truly beautiful. We are immediately faced with this concept. She explores that this is her season, and later claims she is in her prime. This convinces us, and as Genius states, that this song is the idea of being desirable, age a threat. I see the point in this, but do not adhere it. I think Mitski is stating that she feels beautiful, because society can claim her so. Around her age, definitely, the fear of aging is prevalent. But even further, the fear of the consequences of that, because what is a woman without beauty? And she explores that concept in Real Men, stating in the chorus, "All I want to do is get naked in front of you, so you'll look me up and down and say, 'Well done, girl, you're looking good.'" The song Real Men dares to solidify stereotypes given to men, and the misogyny that is influenced by that, which allows us to see why beauty and losing it is such a damn threat. Because in such a society, a woman, even more a half-Japanese woman, which is why I think she threads a Japanese lyric, translating to "before I collapse" in, means you have a high likelihood of being downgraded. So, if you're in your prime, flash, plump, full of life, then you are wanted for once. This is almost satirical, though. She contrasts this truth with the knowledge she is biology. I'm an organism. I'm chemical. That's all. That is all. The use of repeating and adding is... and I am to I'm demonstrates her truly trying to solidify this thought. She just knows it, but is exasperated by it. She's just human and pulsing. Blood is red and unafraid of living, trying to intertwine this knowledge of life to the chain of being told to stay beautiful. The music is cleverly formed, descending us into this clamour of discord as beauty warps the brain. How she is preparing and wanting to fall so this river of life stays natural. But she wants immortal beauty, as well as holding that weight to it. Take a picture. She is as smooth as liquid, soft and ripe and young, so touch me too. This begging before the inevitable destruction of what she must state is soul, to be seen unlike others. She knows her fate. It's from beginning to end, her life, that rushing circle of age. And yet capture me, save her from it. Even though she claws to the truth of aging, she knows it must be accepted. But the music explores how that contrast is maddening. The song begins with her stable, soft piano reflecting melancholy beauty, as she ponders what being beautiful means. As this pondering fashions, her voice pitches, moment of anger steadying to a worried pace, the shaker in the background feeding the anxiety of immortal claim to beauty, the necessity. This panic increases, drum kicking in, music almost clumping, solidifying as her realization purifies, but becomes a deadly uncertainty as she faces life. Then the madness crescendos with violin and synth acting as the tool to such a display, her voice chiming in like in Pearl Diver to demonstrate the multitude and anxiety. And here to madness. At last it falls away, settling as her panic and begging numbs. The last notes low, disappointing by sound, and utterly demonstrative of a conclusion. She has searched for answers, but only caused a craving for this ravishing hunger, like in Pearl Diver, the search that never ends. In the urge to know why beauty, she only found the truth. Madness and misogyny. The art of screaming is the art of duality, metaphorical screaming and literal, the act of primal instinct. When I'm talking literal screaming, I'm talking about songs like Drunk Walk Home, Brand New City, Class of 2013. She places the scream to add the emphasis of rage, whereas songs like I Don't Smoke, Cop Car, Last Words of a Shooting Star feel like a choking rage, a scream never lived. I'm also talking about what sums up this ethereal, haunting grace by which Mitski displays her art. The actions I see that propel this grace are duality, anecdotes, want, and instinct. Duality. The duality of the scream is that it means two things. What Mitski means and what you feel. A great example is Drunk Walk Home, a eulogy on rejected sex and financial debt. At the end, I can tell Mitski in the recorded track is screaming this primal, utter, maniacal rage. And yet I swear she is screaming no, allowing the word no to even hold duality. Begging to not feel and begging to. It is the mastery of this which allows Mitski to fashion screaming to this level of horror that encompasses it and touches soul. Here I can grace the subject of anecdotes. In most of the songs which involve this art, we see the two aspects, the aspect of recording and the aspect of live. For example, view this recording of Drunk Walk Home Scream and then the live version. It displays a different story. Another version goes from sad to angry to pure depravity. Even when Mitski removed the literal scream, you can feel it choking in her breath and see how she uses her movement to enact what this fury would have been. I see this removal demonstrates annoyance trapped because it looks like stupidity. Mitski's example of true knowledge to screaming and the fact she was in a metal band helps, but this is not what carries it forward. It's want. Want is in all her songs cleverly disguised. We all yearn, and she knows this. Some of her first songs were just about wanting, hungering, as we have seen. The song I Don't Smoke is a perfect example, a song of wanting to be fulfilled with your love, but seeing it's addictive like smoking, a forever painful want too hard to get rid of. The infamous line, "I am stronger than you think I am," is Mitski's way of emitting emotion, perhaps even hers, into this song. It's the scream. How much want can hurt and how it's easier to accept when clouded by want than fight. But still, we are human. Addiction is easier. It can get too much. And though addiction has its lows, throughout the song, she gets angrier and angrier and cracks that line spewing out, breaking the cycle of words that repeat in this song. But in the end, the want comes back and she softens mouldy fruit. Once more, not wanted but needed, contrasting to addiction. Lastly, we look at instinct. This quickly hints to primality in the scream. When we paint, we add a finishing touch, the final details, and here we add primality. In the audio tree version of Class of 2013, I really sense this primality in the scream. Listen to it here.
Had to pay for my own life too. Mom, would you wash my back this once, and then we can forget it all?
Just pure need to have what is ultimately so primal, motherly care. There is a deep sadness to this song, showcased well in the Philadelphia live. Ultimately very annoyed, but she is an adult. It's instinctual duty. But still, she just wants to be loved, coddled, held. What else to do but beg? And here, in weakness and pleading, a primal rage amidst sadness and despair in a scream. This song is everything I've discussed. Want, duality, and versions demonstrate all the emotions seen in the anecdotes, and after instinct. It is beautifully melancholy. This is how Mitski forms the art of screaming, for in all this horror she discovers how to channel screaming, gift it to our audience to try and imagine it as their own. Formulate meaning in your own soul. There's almost a nihilism within Mitski's music, this knowledge that life is to suffer. Yet in all this darkness, we are contrasted with hope, love and joy, and in the end, want is hope revitalized. Mitski, in her albums, Be the Cowboy, and In the Land is Inhospitable, and So Are We, try to distract from this gloom, using positive tunes with such songs as Bug Like an Angel and Me and My Husband. There is still melancholy, but it is merely distracted. To me, such cloying positivity to sadness is the resemblance of human soul. In all this melancholy, we continue to thrive because we have to survive. We love, we lose, we hope, we want, we anger. Soul is what Mitski offers, allowing our experience to attach to hers. Those with mental health issues seek her. Those coming for nostalgia find them too. And whatever person you are, Mitski is there. She tends to hold more place in those whose souls are deep, and in that we can become soulful. Religious tones in I'm Your Man being upheld and hurting deep when struggling to love. Yet we have love in Me and My Husband. Still there is toxicity, and Pink in the Night with Want. We find misogyny's truths in Real Men, a complete saga in shame, anger in a burning hill, depravity in nobody, and the different truths. We conclude that we exist in all this suffering, yet there is hope, sentimental joy in suffering itself. The soul is not nihilistic, but the brain is. Mitski adheres to this, and there she finds what to all of us it means to have a soul.